On the news tonight, Ikwari Market fire victims count their losses. Plus, Lagos residents speak against extrajudicial killings by the police. Very good evening to you, and it's good to have you join us on the news tonight. I'm Khadijat Akmabi, and with me on the sign language is Olalua Bayonle. The Senate has passed a bill for an act to prohibit the manufacturing, importation, and use of chemical weapons in Nigeria. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Uko tells us more.
Well, the devastating effects of chemical and biological weapons have become a global concern. And as a signatory to the United Nations Weapons Convention Protocol, the Senate, in its wisdom, commenced the process of domesticating the protocol. And then during the debate on this bill, senators were actually particular about the essence of this bill, what it seeks to achieve for Nigeria, especially in the area of enhancing security in the nation. And then I have with me Senator Jibrin Barao, who actually presented the report that was considered and passed today. He's here to tell us more on what that bill seeks to achieve. Thank you for joining us.
Well, let me not go into technicalities of the bill. The bill essentially is to bring under control anything to do with chemical or biological weapons, to make sure it's well controlled in a way that it will not be destructive to our nation. This is essentially, the reason for the processing of this bill, to also go in line with international conventions, to domesticate those conventions in Nigeria. So I'm optimistic that the process will be expedited in the manner that it will be passed by the House of Representatives as soon as possible, and then it will now be taken to the President. It will be taken to the President for his assent. And I'm sure, looking at the importance of the bill, certainly I'm very, very optimistic that the President will give his assent without delay.
All right, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, the Senate also passed the electric power sector reform amendment, which seeks to prohibit theft of electricity and its installations. Well, this is what we have for you at this moment.
The Acting Inspector General of Police, Adamu Mohammed, has stressed the enforcement of discipline in the Nigeria Police Force. The Acting Inspector General emphasized this when he paid a courtesy visit to the Lagos State Governor, Akinwumi Ambode, over recent cases of extrajudicial killings recorded in the state. Mr. Asula reports.
The Acting Inspector General, who was accompanied on the visit by top police chiefs, explained that the affected officers have already been arrested and tried internally, while assuring residents that they would also face criminal prosecution for such acts, which according to him was against the ethics of the force.
We are to serve members of the public who are not their masters but who are their servants. And the officers and men in Lagos State have been doing a lot of good job. They have been fighting crime and they have been succeeding. But the act of few officers out of many in Lagos State is denting the good work that others have done. Recently, we've had some overzealous officers who went out of their way at the course of performing their duties. They shot a lady and she died. And I had to come down and talk to the officers and men to remind them of their duties and to tell them that anybody that goes his way to commit extrajudicial killing, such a person is on his own and he has to face the wrath of the law.
In his response, Governor Akinwumi Ambode commended the acting IG for taking it upon himself to promptly address the extrajudicial killings in the state personally, despite his responsibilities across the country, saying it shows responsiveness and seriousness with which the issue was being handled by the police chief.
Is coming promptly to address the issue of extrajudicial killings that have actually taken place in the last few weeks. We had the issues of SAS officers that was, some of one killing that took place last week, and another one just a few days ago. And for the IG himself to come promptly to address issues that relate to, public feelings about SARS and other things, and actually talking to Nigerian police officers themselves. So that means it's taking the responsiveness to within the Nigerian police itself before we start to address extra issues that have to bother on citizens.
The governor assured the police chief of the continuous support of the state government. In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
Lagos residents have charged the police in the state to intensify efforts at securing lives and property rather than resorting to extrajudicial killings. Those who spoke with Jason Moses commended the intervention of the Acting Inspector General of Police. The report.
Our primary responsibility of government is to protect life and property. In order to achieve this, service of the police was employed. The constitutional role of police is to arrest anybody who is committing or about to commit crime. As they go about this duty, they are also bound to respect the sanctity of life.
Life is sacrosanct. Life is guaranteed by nature. That is why we also have it in the Constitution, the right to life under Section 33 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It simply says that nobody can be deprived of his life.
Respondents are worried over the spate of killings, as many of them feel that police presence may no longer signify safety but insecurity.
Checking your belongings, it shouldn't be like that, even though you are telling them that this, no, I'm innocent, this is not true, this is not. They want to take you to say to make sure that they get something from you.
They should set up a committee who will be monitoring the movement of the police. Paraventure, if they go out for any operation, they need to be monitored. In case, if anything happens.
That you are a suspect. So what's your pocket? So we're not starting, they will not put inside their DC and go and put it inside. Say, well, that is not the reason. That's not the best way for policemen.
So on the social media, where a police officer stops some students and was saying, in my 30 years of working, I have not used this phone. And that is just the offense. You're asking the students, everybody should come down. Imagine where he's having a gun and decide to shoot. If those people are dead, the next thing you hear that they, one reason or the other, because they are not there again to defend themselves.
They commended the quick intervention of the Acting Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu. 4 lives have been reported claimed by police in Lagos within the past couples of weeks. In Lagos, Jesuto Moses, NTA News.
New tactics adopted in human trafficking, especially in the Northeast, compelled the Nigerian Immigration Service to convene a strategic meeting in Kano to spur the service to be more proactive in dealing with the problem through deployment of sophisticated equipment and identification of areas suspected to harbor human traffickers and their victims before moving them to border areas. Mohammed Rabiu Ahmed reports.
Persons and smuggling of migrants have been a serious source of concern which affect the country's image. But the quest to curb the menace to the barest minimum by the present administration is yielding positive results. It was in line with the renewal impetus to halt human trafficking that the zonal meeting brought together controllers of immigration from northwest Nigeria to fashion out modern techniques to meet contemporary challenges. Assistant Controller General Zombi Tamprika Oyedeji stressed the need for controllers to brace up and key into the directives of Controller General of Immigration in addressing the problem of trafficking in persons.
We are saying no to trafficking in women. Our mothers, our sisters, no to trafficking in children. The youth are the leaders of tomorrow.
On the issue of banditry and kidnapping in Sokoto and Zamfara states, the ACG commended the collaborative effort of the security agencies.
Once we gather them, that is why we need the cooperation of everybody, up to the ward level. Give any security personnel whom you feel can take the information to the right place, so that our country can be rid of this menace.
During the meeting, the ACG Zone B inspected the newly installed walkie-talkie for effective internal and external communication for officers and men of the Nigeria Immigration Service. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
NTA Lagos Channel 10 News continues after this timeout. Do stay with us.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
I was distressed to notice that some of the comments, especially in the social media, have crossed our national red lines by daring to question our collective existence as a nation. This is a step too far.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Thanks for staying with us. Traders affected in the Ikpori Market fire incident are still counting their losses in the fire that razed shops on Monday evening. Jessica Moses reports.
As of the time of our visit to the market, traders were still found gathered lamenting the incident. Others were found evacuating their burnt wares. The local government chairman was also on a visit to the market. He encouraged the traders to be thankful as no life was lost to the fire. Mr. Tajuddin Ajide also called on them to cooperate with government for a better management that will prevent such incidents in the future.
Collect any money from them. I don't do that. But when you tell them this is for safety, they say no. I'm just trying to tell them. Now we'll talk. It's not good. It's their life. I don't have any business here other than to help them.
Market leaders and those affected are appealing to government for support, adding that measures should be put in place to prevent reoccurrence.
To advise each shop to have their fire extinguisher in their shop. Everybody put fuel in their shop again. Yeah. Over 30 shops were affected by the incident, while millions of naira was also lost to it. In Lagos, Jesuito Moses, NTA News.
And that wraps up the English segment of the news. Balaji Akim is standing by for the Yoruba translation. I'm Khadija Takambi, and from the sign language interpreter, Olaluwa Bayonle. Have a very good evening.